All right, well, welcome everyone. It is Tuesday, June 9th, and we just finished sharing all our great victories, and it's wonderful to see all your happy faces here from as far away as Dubai. Holy smokes, that's the farthest away. So welcome, everyone. We have a couple of brand new people on, and it's so nice to see that. So this week, we are going to be going over how to launch an associate properly. And it's going to be a team effort. James is going to be doing some of the training, and Lauren's going to be sharing how to take people through the box. And so, yeah, so that's it. And the thing I want to say about that, you guys, a lot of people, I think, feel like once somebody is enrolled, that's when your job kind of ends. But it's really when our job starts, I find. Yeah. And I have such a passion and a commitment for helping people have a wonderful experience. And if you just enroll someone and, ship a box of stuff to them and kind of let them go at it and hope they figure it out, I believe we're doing people a huge disservice. And not just from a standpoint of helping them get a wonderful experience, but also from the standpoint of building a solid foundation for a residual income business. I know that everyone here is interested in some component of the freedom and doing this work up front. And it may seem like a lot of steps and a lot of work to do up front, but that work up front is going to free you up on the back end so much. And when you take people through the new associate checklist and new customer checklist, it helps you keep on track. It helps you be a good coach. It helps them get a great experience. And at the same time, you're kind of creating something that's a duplicatable system. People then have something that they know they can do when they start sharing the gift. So I think it's so important to follow every one of the 8 steps to starting an associate. That's all in SugarSync. It's also uploaded into our into the files in the Facebook business group. And I think probably everyone here has been taken through it. I mean, James and I, way back when we started, none of that really existed. So I don't think we got taken through it. Penny, probably you've been around long enough. Pia, maybe you haven't been taken through it because not all the coaches follow it. And it really makes a world of difference. I see the numbers, I see the reports, and I can tell you that the people who get taken through all of these steps have a much higher retention rate, meaning they have a better experience, meaning they stay on the products longer. So I can't say enough about following all of these steps. So James, I'll turn this over to you, and at the appropriate time when we ever get to taking people through the box, Lauren Raymond's going to chime in at that point.
Brilliant. Well, thanks, Stephanie, and welcome everybody. It's so good to see so many faces on the call tonight, and that tells us that we're doing something right. So it's good to see the team growing and building, and people excited about building their businesses. What Stephanie said is absolutely right. I mean, the effort it takes to get somebody started is always the effort it takes to get somebody started. The difference between how many times you have to do it is how long people stay. So if you get people signed up and loving the product and staying and building a business, then you're building your business. If you get people that come on board and they don't get enough information to have a great experience and they don't have a coach there to help them, then all you're doing is signing people up for the short term. And I don't know about you, but I would way rather have a lifetime customer than anything else. The new checklists that the company has set up, you can find them on isogenicsbusiness.com under tools, and then flyers and PDFs. Stephanie is holding them up. Here's the cool thing. I know most of us would love to save trees, so we don't necessarily want to print out a bunch of forms. These are writable PDFs. So you can pull these up on your screen, and either your customer or you can go through them and fill them out on your screen and then save them as a digital file. If you're doing it in conjunction with your new person, you can fill the information out, save it, you've got the file, you can email it to them so that they've got a copy, and that is so brilliant because it means that you can start a folder on your desktop that has your new people, and you can sort them by, you can sort them by date, you can sort them by alphabetical or by province, or however you want to do it. But the neat thing is, every time you're talking to a person, you can use that form to keep on track. So I don't want to go through the whole thing, and you probably can't see it, but you guys are going to go onto the site and have a look. But at the top of the page, I mean, it's just, their name, their phone number, double check that you have, the best number to get them at, and you might need a daytime and an evening phone number, email, make sure they repeat it at least twice, so you make sure you're writing it down correctly. And then, from there, the next section is just the date, the type of communication, and the details. So every time you talk to this person for the next little while, you can write down the date, what you talked about, and how you communicated with them. And, I think one of the things in there around type of communication is a great reminder to actually check in with people and see how they want to be communicated with. Some people love Facebook, some people love email, some people love Skype, some people love FaceTime. Everybody has a different way. Some people like short meetings, some people like long meetings, some people like early morning, some people like evening. So there's you get a chance here to figure out how people want to be communicated with, and make notes on there. As you go through it, it has places for order date, what pack they ordered, what their date is, and what their order is. The neat thing about this form is when you fill it out and email it to them, it also has clickable links on it. So as you go through the process, it tells you step 1, this is how you get them plugged in. This is what you want to do in the first 24 hours. And, did you get them to isoproduct.com? Did you get them to isomovie? Have they been on Isogenics business.com? The times for the cleanse coaching that they can phone in for. It reminds you to set a date and time for a welcome call. On our team, Stephanie has always been a huge proponent of welcome calls. Paul, you just had a welcome call today.
Yeah.
Did it make you feel better about your choice or worse?
Better, much better, of course. Yeah, I'm glad.
Better. Yeah. So the welcome calls are really important. It gives your new person a chance to ask questions and introduces them to another team member, and lets them know that our intention is to support them. Gives you a chance to let them know about team calls, like the one tonight. So Paul doesn't have his product yet. They had a welcome call this afternoon. He's on our team call this evening. Clearly Stephanie follows through the steps to make sure people are well looked after. And,
yes.
Stephanie is a millionaire, so there's probably some clues in there.
Yep.
Well, I wish that we had already had Paul. I was hoping, I was a little too soon, but I was hoping he would have his box so we could actually do a live walkthrough. That would have been great, but we'll play
That's
along.
okay.
That would have been very
I look
fun.
forward to it. I know you'll follow up with me, Stephanie, so thank you.
So step 1 is all about getting people connected. Step 2 is about determining their goals. Step 3 is some steps on introducing them to their back office. So we've got this, they sign on at this multi-million-dollar website, and sometimes we forget to impress them with how brilliant it really is. So there's just some steps to, how to log in, how to sign up a new person, how to update their auto ship, just the basic steps. And we have really great tutorials. We're a brilliant company. Most of the tutorials are short. They have long attention spans. We're the MTV generations. So, they're more like music videos than anything else. So short tutorials. So no excuse for somebody not to just click on something and get a tutorial. Go ahead, Steph.
I just want to add to that, James, is the website it's true. It's a multi-million-dollar website that people get with their membership. And there are so many people who don't know they have a website. And when I do the web walkthrough, I actually show them their landing page as well, so that they get to know a lot of that, because there are so many resources on the landing page. The catalog is on the landing page. The iSamovie link is on the landing page. And when you take them to the back office, and definitely show them how to do their auto ship, how to do the try once, add to basket, etc. But also, and a lot of people don't do this, even if they say, I just want to use the product, I don't want to, I'm a 1, and you guys all know what the 1, 2, 3 means. I'm a 1. Still show them the placement tree, because I can't tell you the number of times, and James will agree with me, where we're finding people signed up in the wrong place because the person who's signing them up said, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. But then, of course, we know they get results. People start asking, and they just start filling up that tree. So just show them the tree. Tell them if that time ever does come, please contact me first before you're putting people in. But do show them. You never know. You never know. And it's a very impressive website.
Yeah, I look forward to going on there, Stephanie. I haven't gone there yet, but I look forward to going on there.
Had we had a little more time, we had some technical challenges getting our welcome call done. I would have taken you there, but we'll set another time to do it.
Not a problem. Thanks.
Yes, so step 3 does include the replicated website, Stephanie. So corporate was listening to you and logging into your back office and the tutorials and a couple of those things. It does not suggest the placement tree. So, you know, you may want to put that in the appropriate suggestion box for them. Step 4, IsaBody Challenge. Here's a couple of things we know about IsaBody Challenge. Number 1, people love getting free product. Stay on the program for 16 weeks, follow the steps, get $200 and a t-shirt. How cool is that? The other thing we know about the IsaBody Challenge is they stay as customers longer. The longer somebody is a customer, the more likely they are to stay forever. So IsaBody Challenge is a big part of that. Step 5 is complete the new associate interview. The new associate interview is 2 pages of questions. I'll talk about it a little bit. Step 6 is the referral management program. So, you know, I mean, one of the things that I think we're sometimes reluctant, some people are reluctant to ask, but, you know, clearly it's important. I mean, we want people to get results, yes?
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Results, what's going to happen? If they're impressive results, are people going to ask them about what's going on, what they're doing?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, we want them to be walking billboards. And we want them to be walking billboards because that's how Isagenix grows their business. That's how we grow our business. And then we forget to say, oh, by the way, you know, you're going to get results of this, which people are going to start asking you. There's 3 things you can do. So they just, you know, write in this form. It just goes through the, you know, you can pass the contact directly to me. You can learn how to get your products paid for, or you can learn how Isagenix can help you get financially sickly. You know, if you just follow through the form, you're going to have a really good idea of what the person you're talking to wants to do. And then right after that, it goes through the Crystal program. So, you know, what's their join date? What's their join date plus 30 days so they know how to get the $250 Crystal Manager bonus? What's their join date plus 90 days so they know how to get their $750 bonus? And what's their join date plus 180 days to make sure they know what they need to do to make Crystal Executive to get their $1,000 bonus? That's $2,000 worth of bonuses that, frankly, some of us forget to mention when we get somebody started. So, you know, I don't want somebody coming back to me later and saying, hey, I missed out on something that I could have had if I'd only known. So not only do we want to make sure those dates are in there and then they're going to get a copy of this, but I would highly suggest it in, if you have an electronic day timer and you're working with this person, put it in your day timer and send like a meeting request to them so it goes into their calendar. So they've actually got a 30-day right on their calendar. They've got the 90-day right on their calendar. They've got the 180-day right on their calendar, and so do you. The new associate interview is 2 pages of questions, and you know, I don't want to go through all of it. It's levels of commitment, what attracted you to network marketing, those sorts of things. 2 of them that I think are really important in terms of getting a handle on working with somebody. Number 9 is how many hours a week will you commit to building your team to reach your goals? You know, once you know how much time somebody's willing, and I get at the beginning, some people may not know. I mean, you know, if they've got a big goal and you ask them how many hours a week it might take to get it, I mean, if they're used to a job, they might tell you it's 40 or 50 hours. So, you know, if you can tell them that it, you know, 2 to 4 hours a night, 5 or 6 nights a week, and I'll show you what to do in those hours to get your goal, that might sound really cool. But you want to know how many hours. If they tell you, you know, 10 minutes a week, well, then, then you know, a lot accomplished. And number 10 is what do you think will be your biggest obstacle? And, you know, one of the things I realized in this is we don't know what people's backstory is. We don't know what's happened to them in the past. We don't know what things might get in their way. And wouldn't it be great to know that their obstacle is, not having a belief in the business or not having a belief in themselves or needing more information about the product right from the beginning, because then you can send them a resource, give them a tool, give them a book, follow through, connect them with somebody else. I mean, you can handle their obstacles right at the beginning instead of waiting for, 3, 4, 5, 6 months for them to show up and get in the way. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. And the very last page of the 5-page piece is called the new associate commitment form. So we've gone through a process of getting them connected, getting them hooked up. We've gone through a process of asking a lot of questions so we understand what they're up to and where they're coming from. And then the last page is that piece around moving them from, there's, something going to go on here to, I'm going to do something with you. So there are things like, I commit to compiling a list of the top 10 people I want to partner with, and we'll discuss this with my support team leader within 48 hours. I commit to pursuing further and continual education to improve my skills as a network marketer. I commit to develop and follow my 90-day game plan. So, I commit to attending Core 4 events. And putting them into my calendar right now. And then at the end of the whole thing, there's a checklist. So it just gets you to go through, and as you go through things with people, you can just check, or they can check them off. So once they've got this, you've got their history, their commitments, you've got a lot of information about their goals, you've got their commitments initialed, and they've got a checklist that you can follow up and follow through with them. Plus, you've talked to them about what their 30, 60, and 180-day plans are to hit the bonuses. So, you know what? 5 pages of going through something. And, here's one of the things I find about checklists. Number one, it helps me be organized. I don't know if you've ever done a call with somebody where you've kind of rushed from one thing to another thing. You don't have time to sort of settle your mind or figure out exactly what you want to accomplish or cover. Or if you find that sometimes calls get a little off kilter and you don't get everything covered and you realize later, oh, shoot, I wanted to talk to them about. With a checklist, you make sure that everything is covered and everything is done. Duplicatable, we want to be duplicatable, yes? That's the key to success. So if you're using a checklist, they go through it with you and they're signing up a new person and you say, use the checklist, and they've already done it. How likely are they to use it? Really likely. So the checklists are awesome. They make sure that we're doing it right. And the other thing that's nice about it is, particularly when you're new, you can say, I have to fill out this form with you. And it gives you all sorts of permission to ask all the questions and talk about all the topics that are listed on the form. Does that make sense? I mean, do you ever find there's some areas that you don't want to ask somebody? So you kind of think, well, maybe I'll do it in the next call, or maybe I'll figure it out on my own, or maybe somehow it'll just come to me, through osmosis, through the air, because we don't want to ask. The cool thing is, it's like, I'm just going to go through this form with you. And I'm going to ask you some things, and and here's the commitment section. So I'm just going to ask you to, initial these commitments, and here's the checklist. So, we just make sure that you get everything done that's on the checklist. And it's great, because everything that you need to get somebody set up properly, except for the placement tree, is already on here. So, once we get corporate ed, look at the placement tree, then, this will be a pretty perfect form. And there's also a shorter 3-page customer one. I'm not going to go into that. You can look at it on your own. The reason I'm not going to go through it is because I want everybody to be an associate anyway. So,
But I think
any
a lot
questions,
of
comments?
the same stuff is on there, James, as well as I think an important component that I do
It is.
on the other part is the support team one. And the other thing I just wanted to say, and really great job on going through that, is that this can be like a conversation more than a, with your clipboard and asking questions. Make it a conversation, a lot of it. When you're asking somebody, for example, what are your top goals with this? If they say, "Oh, I'd like to lose weight," well, wow, how long have you desired to do that, and how many sizes or how much weight would you like to release, and what's that going to be like? Like, help people paint the picture of what's possible. So don't make it just a regimented, when we say checklist, it's actually an interview. Make it more conversational. You're getting to know this person. If they say, "Oh my gosh, energy, I just would love to get some more energy." "Oh, really? Well, let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you can barely drag yourself out of bed, and 10 being you're energized all day, you get up no problem and feel great all day till you go back to bed, where would you say you are on a scale of 1 to 10? So, get a little more detailed, and it's more than just little check marks, and there's lots of space to write more details. And in fact, when we were going over doing Paul's welcome, I already started notes on the back of the form as well, just on a blank piece, because I want to know as much as possible. So back to the, asking questions and having a conversation.
Yeah, and just another hint, there's a couple pages of information and checklist, and then there's 2 pages of new associate interview. For me, I'd like to have the new associate interview out even while I'm going through the checklist, because I can ask some of these questions as I'm going along with the checklist, so it doesn't feel like I'm just asking somebody 16 questions in a row later. And I can fill out some of the stuff because it's going to come up, when we're talking, and some of these questions I can just, pop in through the conversation of the checklist. So by the time I get to the stuff that's not filled out, maybe there's only a few questions left. Does that make sense? So then it's more like a conversation and, less like an interrogation.
Right. One other thing I wanted to add to what you said about IsaBody Challenge, how important that is that the retention rate gets raised, but the order basket size goes up almost 100 BV. That's huge. Imagine if everybody who's active in your organization increased their order basket by 100 points. That's a big, big jump. I think that's something, James, I'd love for you to talk about, is that who's on your support team, and is there anyone you'd like to join you on your journey? Now, the way I ask that one is, like, in a perfect world, if you could make the decision, who would be doing this with you? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't know anybody who'd want to do it." But if you got to decide, if you just got to wave a magic wand, who would be doing this with you? And then that whole support team thing, and James really used that support email brilliantly, and that launched his business. So if you can touch on that, James. I think it's important, whether it's done on email or Facebook or text.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of questions around support team. What Stephanie is referring to is when I got started, what Stephanie suggested was not only do you want some people to do this with you, that'd be awesome, but you also want to have those people that are cheering you on. As she said, when the Haagen-Dazs is calling to you at 2 a.m. in the morning from the freezer. So I wasn't a great person at asking for support. So it really was a stretch to put together an email. But I wrote up an email. I just said, "I'm starting on this program. I'm looking for support. These are my goals. Would it be okay if I reached out to you if I get into one of those places where, I need somebody to talk me off the ledge? And is it okay if I send you my results just so I get to be accountable?" And, after I sent my first set of results out after my first 2 cleanse days, had 5 people get a hold of me that said they wanted to talk. We went out for tea. All 5 of them signed up with President's Packs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went away on holidays, and Stephanie looked after them for me while I was gone. And by the time I came back, my product was paid for. I'd won some contest and had a whole room air ionizer thing sitting on my steps. And already money was, coming in every week. So, just encouraging people to reach out and not do this on their own, not do it in isolation or in silence, but to be public about it. And not public about it, "Ooh, I joined Isagenix," public about, "I'm up to something and I want some support, and I'd be excited if you would join me in it as well."
And you know what, James, there's also a lot of psychology to that, because I bet you every one of you who has enrolled people have heard this. Or how many of you have heard this? Oh, I want to wait and see if it works before I tell anyone. Anyone heard that? Okay. So what that person is doing is they're leaving the door to failure wide open, number one. And the way I explain this is, listen, if you don't share, at least with the people that you spend the most time with, that you're up to something, people will unwittingly, accidentally sabotage you. So you have to let them know you're up to something, so that they're not, waving a cheesecake in front of you in the break room. Or so whoever you're spending the most time with in your home and at work, reach out to them and send a little email or a chat or have a little conversation with them and tell them what you're up to, so they can support you and not accidentally sabotage you. So when it comes from that standpoint, it's people, I think, see that a little differently and are a little more willing to step into that. And it's like James said, I certainly was also not used to asking for support, and that's a hard thing for people to do. But I really believe it's also another step of commitment to this journey. When they're willing to do that and step outside their comfort zone and ask for support and declare like, hey, I'm doing something, energetically, they're just more likely to have results because they're stating their declaration. So I think that's a really important thing. And in all honesty, I got a little bit away from doing that. Paul and I touched on it a little bit, and we're going to talk about what that can look like in your world, or who you might send that email to, Paul, or how we're going to communicate that. But I think it's a really important step. I had someone who sent out that support email that James was just talking about. She was, the day before, there seems to be a theme, the day before she left for Mexico. James was going to Mexico. And that night, as she's packing, she's madly calling me. I have 3 people who want to sign up. What do? I'm packing. So I helped her help her folks get started, and it was great. So you never know. You never know.
Fantastic.
If I may.
Yes, Linda.
I've signed up because I've watched Chelsea from the beginning. And the positive attitude that I think when we tell people about this, it's not only the physical change, but it's the mental change. It's positive attitude. And if you have pictures of yourself you're willing to share, like what Chelsea did, she is my inspiration. It's like, it's just fabulous to see what she's gone through. And when I talk to her and Chris, it's the power of positive thinking all the time. And I think when we go to sign people up, that's a big push. Yeah.
That's a great reminder, Linda. Thank you. And that's something else that we have to be comfortable talking about. And we talked about this on some of our other calls. Share that what we're offering people is an amazing community too. Of
Yes.
Christine, you've been with multiple other network marketing companies. Have you ever experienced this kind of closeness and welcoming and all of that? Like, I know people who said, I've been in this industry for 20 years and I've never gotten a welcome email from the team, like only from the company. I've never gotten anything like this. So that's something else. There are so many things that set us apart, so many things that make Isagenix the creme de la creme of the industry. But the community and what we offer here is a huge part of it. And yeah, you're right. I've seen Chelsea just transform, and we have so much fun working together, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
All right,
Thanks,
so
Steph.
anybody want to share any takeaways, ahas, thoughts about this, that you've been using it, not using it, before we move to the next section?
For me, it was making it a conversation, because I think some of my reluctance to use it, like I'll sit there and do the checklist on my own or whatever, but it's hard. It was hard for me to do it. And I think it was just, it's just changing the way you think about it and take away the checklist part and just, it's a conversation guide. And I think that'll make it easier.
That's a great way to look at it, a conversation guide. And yeah, it's totally natural to ask someone, so hey, what's the best way to reach you? What do you prefer, phone, email, or text? I think I asked Paul that question one of the first times we talked. What's the best time to get a hold of you? So
Right.
those are just really respectful questions, I think. And yeah, they can be woven into a conversation.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you, Chelsea. Anyone else?
I'll go ahead just for a second.
Yeah.
It's Paul here. Yes, I was just going to say, little bit, maybe it's a little bit more of a background into me as well as Stephanie, is that, part of, Stephanie knows I work 2 jobs right now. It's crazy times, but part of what I've done at my other job, which is market research, which is, doing surveys, public opinion, I have an ability. I totally agree with Stephanie about when you have a conversation with people and don't sound scripted, it lowers people's guards. It makes people much more comfortable talking to you. So I see that all the time. People come to me all the time asking, well, how do you do this? And I do trainings often for new people who come in to the call center for those things, because they see how I talk to people and learn how to use just having a conversation on the phone when you're calling somebody, maybe out of the blue, to do a survey. Just having a conversation can really lower that person's guard and make them much more willing to talk to you, and you find out some amazing things. So that's great.
I love that. Thank you. Anyone else? All right.
Stephanie,
Oh, who was going to go
hi,
first?
Stephanie. Yeah, I was just going to say, I had one client that her comment was, so are you going to keep hounding me and badgering me? And what if at some point I just don't want to hear anymore? Is there a safe word I can use? And I said, whoa. This is not about badgering and forcing you to do something you don't want to do. If at any time, we're adults, you don't need a safe word. It's not like 50 Shades. But I had to chuckle at her analogy that.
So she's a client in Isogenics or a hair client?
No, when I was telling her about Isogenics and asking, when's a good time to set up to meet and meet with the coach that I'm under as well, right? And her biggest fear was to be, quote unquote, her words, to be hounded, to be harassed, and like telemarketers on the phone, they call it supper time all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of analogy. So first I had to be serious and say, no, it won't be harassing. It won't be doing anything you don't want to do. We're here, to support you and help you. But I just wanted to share that aspect of this lady's fear of being harassed by a telemarketer kind of thing and having a safe word.
Well, and you know what?
That's great.
You're going to learn one of my favorite questions. I would have asked her, well, oh my gosh, what do you mean by that? Or, wow, has something happened? Was somebody harassing you? Because, what harassing means to her might be totally different than what harassing means to you or what harassing means to me. So it's always good to ask, what do you mean by that?
Actually, Stephanie, I took your words, what you said in the last call last week, and said, oh, there must be a story here.
Awesome. And did she have one?
She did, because, she's busy with 3 kids, and it's always supper time, and it's always an inconvenient time, or the kids will answer the phone and say, Mom, it's another one of those people you don't want to talk to. So that was just her story of being harassed.
Yeah, and that's her story, and I'm sure it was nice for her to unload that and be heard about it. That's her experience.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, anyone else?
Well, 2 things. One, I think it's important when we start a call like this to frame it as, our intention is to ask questions and give direction so that they have the best possible experience. That's what it's all about. That's really why we're doing it. So whether you're brilliant at having conversations or a little stilted, at least they know what your intention is going into the call. So I think it's always important to set that up. And if you want some more information, if you go on the tools site down to podcasts, so past the flyers and PDF where the 2 forms are, down to podcasts, and the 3rd podcast down is Shannon Fisher, and she does about a 30-minute podcast on how to use the forms and how he uses them, and it's really well done. So if you want another take on it, that's a great place to go.
I posted that in the business group too.
Yeah.
You did, Lauren, absolutely.
We just want people to be able to find it anytime. So, But yes, thank you. I listened to that. It was really good. Thanks for doing that. All right, so nice segue to Lauren. Then Lauren's going to take us through. Do you want me to just role play it with you then? Just pretend you're taking me through the box?
Sure, we can't do that.
Okay. So when, as Paul knows, as soon as his box of goodies arrive, he's going to contact me, and then we're going to go through it together.
And what did Paul order? Paul, what'd you order?
President's.
The weight loss presents pack.
All righty. Okay, so we're gonna first of all I'm gonna have you open your box, and we're going to just check and make sure everything's in there, because it's rare that this happens, but I do see that, and I will get to Stephanie. It's rare that it happens, but I've had some people that have missing items, and we don't realize it till like a cleanse day is coming and they don't have their ISO snack. So we're going to go through really quickly and just make sure you have everything that your President's Pack came with.
Okay.
Oh, did you say okay?
I got it. Right here's my box.
Perfect. Okay. So you should have 4 shake canisters.
Okay. That's these.
Yeah, the really big canisters.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a box of Ageless Essential Vitamins.
Okay, that's the one with the black on the top.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. 1 container of Ionic Supreme. It has a red lid.
Oh, my bottle with the red stripe.
Oh, you got the liquid. So yes, it has a red lid or a bottle with the red stripe. Some people always order the powder, but okay.
That would be Christine.
You have 2 bottles of the Cleanse for Life, big bottles of Cleanse for Life.
Hand me those, babe. Hand me those. Wait, you mean this little thing?
Stephanie, 2 containers with the black lid. So you should know what they ordered before you go through their box.
Yeah, it's good.
One little bottle of Isoflush. It has a yellow lid.
Isoflush, I don't have that. I have something with the yellow lid that says Isa Comfort.
Is that
Isa Comfort.
a Canada product?
Well, yours says Isa Comfort in Puerto Rico, right?
Nope. Isoflush.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in Canada, so mine says Isa Comfort.
Okay, so it has a yellow lid. You're good.
It
You
does.
should have a little bottle. Yeah. You should have a little bottle with a purple lid. What is this?
Accelerators?
Yes, natural accelerator. And then you should have 1 bottle that either has a purple cap, a white cap, or a brown cap called Isa Snacks.
Oh, yes.
Which flavor do you have?
Uh-huh. The berry. Mm.
Yes, yum. You should have gotten a big box. That was your Isa blender, which is awesome.
Yes.
Okay. A box of Isa Delights, a white box that says Isa Delight chocolate.
I already tried one of those. Yum.
They're yum. They are. 1 box of bars, and there's 6 different flavors. So whichever flavor you ordered, it should say ice cream
Those
bar.
caramel cashew. Yum.
2 shakers with the green lid, 2 sample shakers,
Uh-huh.
and a sample of the skincare system.
Oh,
No.
yes.
Excellent. Okay, so if you,
Wow.
what I'd like you to do is please get a
Hang on,
sharp.
there's also there's this white cardboard thing that's
Oh yeah. So you also should have a white cardboard thing that has plastic around it. You're going to open that up.
and I actually start them there and make them dig out the catalog and the measuring tape. Right.
Oh, I do that opposite, but okay,
Okay.
that's
Okay,
fine.
cool. Yeah, okay, I'll open that.
So open that up
Okay.
and make sure you have a Sharpie. Do you have a Sharpie? Perfect. So we're going to write on everything.
Okay.
So when you open up that little folder, there's going to be some fold outs that open up, and one's gonna, if you dig deep in there, there should be a little tape measure that you're going to use.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And on one of the flaps of that chart is a measuring chart and weighing chart.
I didn't get that.
Okay.
Do you see that page? It has columns. And so before you start, you're going to put the date on the first column and measure and weigh according to everything it says on that chart, and write in your numbers.
Oh, do I have to measure?
Yes, you really want to measure, because you're going to see wonderful results when you measure. You're going to measure probably about 3 times throughout the month, and inches are just going to be shedding off, and you really are going to want to see the difference in numbers. It's such an awesome motivator when you notice after a week or 2 how much you've released.
Okay.
So you'll do that. And the other thing that it doesn't, I highly recommend people do before pictures. You don't have to show anybody, but do a front profile and a back, because it's amazing after 30 days, transformation, not only the inside of your body takes, but the outside as well. And comparing them is truly amazing.
And
Profile.
the face, close up of the face.
Oh yeah, and the face.
Okay, I will. I'll do that. I'll
Okay.
send them to you, but no one else.
Okay, that sounds great. Also in that little fold out is a little meal planner. It's a 400 to 600 calorie meal planner. And it's just a guide on how to plan out your 400, 600 calorie meal you're going to have on your shake days.
Okay.
The idea of that is that in each column, you would choose one of those items in each column to make your meal.
Okay.
All right, any questions about that fold out so far?
No, that looks pretty self-explanatory.
Perfect. You should have also gotten I don't know where they put the CDs. Is there a CD in there, or they used to have the separate booklet?
No, the CDs are in the little flap.
Okay. So you also have some CDs in there, and there's going to be a CD in there about nutritional cleansing, and I highly recommend that you listen to that, because it's just going to give you some bits and information about what you're going to be going through and what your body's going to be going through this next month.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start writing on our items. I always like to start with the items that you're going to be taking every single day for 30 days. So if you can find your Ionic Supreme, the bottle with the red stripe, and on there you will write 1 ounce every day.
Okay.
Morning, typically in the morning, first thing in the morning.
Okay. Does this have to be refrigerated?
Once it's opened, it needs to be refrigerated.
Okay.
The Natural Accelerator with the purple top.
Yeah.
You are going to be taking 2 a day for 30 days.
Okay.
And generally mid-morning and mid-afternoon.
All
And we'll
right.
talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
And then there's the IsaFlush or Isa Comfort with the yellow lid.
Yeah.
You're going to take 1 to 2 of those every night right before bed
Okay.
with a cup of water.
Okay.
So those 3 items are the items you're taking every single day for 30 days.
Okay.
So now on shake days, you have your shake canisters, and you are going to be drinking 2 shakes a day. So on your canisters, you can write in there 2 shakes a day, and 1 serving of a shake is 2 scoops. So 2 scoops equals 1 serving,
Okay.
or 1 shake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be twice a day, breakfast and whatever you're choosing for your second meal, lunch or dinner. And that can be interchangeable if you need it to be. And that's going to be for 26 days of the month.
So do I just put that in a glass and stir it with a fork? Is that good?
Well, you have that awesome, cool Isa blender. So I would put about 8 ounces of water, a handful of ice, your 2 scoops, and blend away.
Okay.
Depending on how thick you want it, you could do a nice, good handful of ice and get it really thick, or you could just do a couple ice cubes and make it thin. You kind of want to play around with the consistency.
So if I want it like Penny, then I need to also get a spatula to scoop it all out and a spoon to eat it.
I use the spoon too. I like mine thick. So, yep.
Okay.
And then I just have to see where we're at. Okay, so a shake day, I'm just going to quickly go through your shake day. A shake day consists of 1 ounce of your Ionic Supreme, which is what we labeled, that has the red stripe around it. You will have one shake. So you'll mix 2 scoops to make your 1 shake for breakfast. Mid-morning, you're going to have your natural accelerator with a snack. And if you look at that fold out, there's actually a shake day schedule in there that actually goes through all of this.
Right. And this is also, I think I saw something on my welcome email, like digitally, that you have that on that
Yeah.
site.
So if you click on that link, it would actually bring you to that schedule as well. And there's a video that talks about what the shake days look like.
Okay.
Okay, so any questions on the shake days?
So, okay, and then what? So then I have lunch.
So then you're going to have lunch, and that could be either your 400 to 600 calorie meal or your second shake. Mid-afternoon, you would have your second natural accelerator and just a small snack, healthy snack. I always recommend every time you're eating something, whether it's your meal or your snack, you have some sort of protein with it, a small amount of protein. And then your dinner is going to be whatever opposite of lunch was. So if lunch was your meal, then your dinner is going to be your shake. If you had your second shake for lunch, then dinner is going to be your 400, 600 calorie meal.
And I generally, Lauren, I do encourage people that the ideal way to do it is to do shake, knife and fork meal, and shake, like for best results.
Right.
Plus, depending on someone's current lifestyle, shake is just so much liquid fiber that can cause some tummy discomfort. So ideally, unless they extenuating circumstances dictate that they can't do that, that is the best way to recommend doing the program.
Yeah, okay.
Can you repeat that? Sorry. I just say that
Yes,
again.
the shake is for breakfast, then you have your snack, but lunch is your knife and fork meal. And
Okay.
the second shake is actually your dinner. That's the ideal sort of perfect way if you want to follow it to the letter.
Okay.
And then, once you're used to the program and you're cleansed and your body's adapted, then you can mix it up a little more. So,
Okay.
okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
and then before bed, you're going to have 1 to 2 of your IsoFlush, which is the yellow lid capsules.
Is that
With
gonna make me, like, what does that do? IsoFlush sounds kind of scary.
It does not
Yeah.
have you sitting on the toilet. Basically, it just keeps you hydrated so your body continues to move things out.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. Thank God.
I can read his mind, see? I could read Paul's mind.
Yeah. You did.
Okay, any questions on your shake?
It's a relief.
So, like, for a snack, I could have, like, veggies and hummus or something. That would be good. Or
Veggies and hummus. You can do organic apple with some almond butter. If you
like
want.
diet Jell-O. That doesn't have any calories.
I would probably stick with something as natural and not processed as possible. So, and if you look at the guide that in our list, there's a list, or in the link that we sent you, there's a list of recommended foods to eat and recommended foods not to eat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving to cleanse days.
Oh, and do I have to stop drinking coffee? This is actually water, but do I have to? This is how much coffee I have all day.
Yes, in an ideal situation, you want to eliminate caffeine from your diet, all coffee and caffeine from your diet to achieve optimal results.
But I read in those e-shots it has caffeine.
That's just a natural source of caffeine.
Oh, okay. I can't wait till August till we have our own coffee. Okay, sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
not a coffee drinker, so okay, but that's good. Okay, so are we ready to go to cleanse days?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So in your chart, there's also a cleanse day schedule, as well as the link that was sent to you in the welcome email has the cleanse day schedule. And I like that cleanse day schedule better because it also shows you when you would have your Isa Delights, which are the chocolate squares that came in the white box. So in the morning, you're going to start with your 1 ounce of Ionic Supreme, the tall bottle, and you already labeled that. And then about an hour later, you are going to have your first serving of your Cleanse for Life. Now you have the little canisters, so you are going to make sure you use 2 scoops for every serving. You're going to drink it 4 times a day.
Okay.
And you need to make sure you do 2 scoops. And I highlight that to people because I still have people that just do, I'm just going off topic for a minute. I always have people still that just do 1 scoop because they don't see,
Yeah.
even in the documents we send them, they do not see the 2 scoops. And they'll have 1 scoop for each serving, and obviously that's not enough.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
2 scoops 4 times a day. And then about an hour later, see, my schedule's a little different. So that I use, I don't know if you want me to use that one but an hour later, you are going to, about an hour and a half later, you're going to take your Isodolite, 1 Isodolite. This is the schedule I use. So do you want me to just use the one I use?
Sure.
Okay, so an hour later, after you're taking your Cleanse for Life, you're gonna pop one of your awesome Isodolites in your mouth. They are amazing, and you can suck on it for as long as you want and make it last. And then you will also do your 1 Natural Accelerator.
Okay.
And an hour later, you will have 2 of your ISA snacks. You have the berry ones, and again, you can just pop them. I do 1 at a time and just kind of suck on them until they dissolve. And then you're going to repeat this every hour. So then an hour later, by this time we're at 12 o'clock p.m. lunchtime, you're going to do your second dose, your second serving of your Cleanse Juice, 2 scoops. And then an hour later, you're going to do your Isodolite. And then an hour later, your 2 snack wafers and your Natural Accelerator. And you're going to repeat the process until you get through your 4 Cleanse for Life. And I'm usually having them look at the schedule when I'm doing this, just by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions on your cleanse day?
No.
And you want to drink lots of water. Ideally, you want to have, these are on all days, you want to have the minimum, you want to have half your body weight in ounces of water a day for minimum that you want to drink.
Okay.
Purified water.
So it's probably good to measure that out.
Yep.
Okay.
And then your box just came with some awesome extras. You have the Ageless Essentials, so you'll have an AM and PM pack first thing in the morning. And if nighttime's a hard time to remember, you can tape the nighttime pack on your bathroom mirror, and that way you remember to take them. Cleanse days, it's recommended, this is my understanding, not to take them. Is that correct?
I've heard both. I recommend taking them. I take them. I think Product B makes cleanse days easier, personally.
So you take all of them? Okay. So you'll be taking those twice a day. The bars, the Isoline bars, are just an added, they're just an added a piece there. So you can have half of one for a mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack. If you're kind of getting a crunch and you can't have your shake, if you're doing a shake for dinner and you can't have your shake, you can have the bar instead and replacement for that. And then you have the 2 sample shakers. It's just a great way to hand some samples out to other people to share with them.
Or I can keep them for when I travel.
You can keep them for when you travel. There's some really good goodies in there. So any questions about those items in your box?
No, I think that's covered everything. I always definitely make them pull out the catalog and make sure they go through it. I tell them that each item that we discuss, they can read a little bit more about in the catalog, that they're all listed in there.
Perfect.
And then look at some other things for ongoing, that they didn't try this time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. The other thing I always have people do is I just reiterate their goals, and I recommend that they write them out, put them on their mirror, their refrigerator, wherever they're going to see them multiple times a day, just so they're reminded of why they're doing what they're doing.
I love it. Good job. So you guys might think the whole Sharpie thing, like, why? Because it says on there what to take. First of all, it's really tiny, so a lot of us can't even read it. But secondly, when people write on their product, they really take ownership of it. And I have heard, it's not confirmed or anything 100%, but it really makes sense to me that returns, when anybody returns a product, they've never had a return that actually has Sharpie writing on it. So that kind of makes sense, that people really do take ownership of it. If they write on it, it's theirs, they get it, and they use it properly. So I love that Sharpie walkthrough. So Paul, make sure you have your Sharpie ready when we have our call. We'll be able to
Okay.
get through it. Great
Sounds good.
job. Thank you so much, Lauren, and thank you so much, James. And we always end with little takeaways. Any takeaways from this last segment?
I'll say that I think what was pretty cool about the last segment, I've done, a few of the getting people set up. I've never actually gone through the whole thing where I get them set up with Sharpie, so I really like that idea. So I'm going to definitely use that.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else?
I liked having them write out their goals. I have tried it. I usually don't tell people to do it right away. When they start struggling is when I recommend it, but it just makes sense to do that from the beginning. So,
Yeah, that's
really-
great. Yeah, I love that. That's a takeaway. And then they can always, you can refer them back to it. Remember that goal you have on your, and this is something that we watched on a training when I was in Puerto Rico, and it was Corey Kinnear does this. And she basically says to people, there may be a few days at the beginning where you absolutely hate me. And you're going to think I'm crazy, and you're going to wonder, what the heck did I get you signed up for? And especially this may be true for somebody who has a really unhealthy lifestyle. They may have some cleansing symptoms. So, like in day 1, 2, 3, and 4, you might be hating me. You might not want to talk to me anymore. But by day 5, and that's if they're following 2 shake days, 2 cleanse days, and then a shake day, by day 5, I'm going to be your new best friend, and you're going to love me all over again. So set them up for and it's a lighthearted way to set them up for the possibility that they might get some headaches, or they might get some kind of stuff going on. And if they don't, great. And if they do, then at least you warned them about it. So that's another new piece. So yeah, awesome. All right, so who's committed to doing these box walkthroughs with their cleansers? Excellent. Yay. All right, you guys, well, thank you so much for joining, and I'm so glad to see new faces, and I hope to see new faces ongoing each week, and I love you guys taking on trainings. James, thank you. Lauren, thank you. Penny, I think it's time maybe we call on Penny to do something soon, because it's a wonderful trainer. Yes, he is. All right, you guys, so I'll see you next week, Tuesday, same time, same station.
Nice meeting everybody.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Well,
Thanks.
welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
You did fantastic, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.